Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video, and this is a paid request from Trevor. Thank you so much, not just for your kind words in the... Because when you send a request, people are going to send messages, so thank you for the kind words, but also for the paid request. I really appreciate it. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. Do have a Cash App and such. People have asked about that. Links are down below in the info box. If you wish to, PayPal is usually the best bet. And I'll get to it as soon as I can. But Trevor wanted me to talk about the Star Trek short film that came out called 765874 Unification. For sake of our argument, I'll just say Unification, which is by someone named Otoy, but a lot of people were involved with this, like Skywalker Sound, and there's things in the credits from Kevin Feige and Alex Ross and William Shatner. I just produced it, and Sam Witwer, who's done voice work on Star Wars properties. There are a lot of people involved with this. Now, pretty much what the deal is it's a short, about 10 minutes give or take, maybe a little bit less, but around 10 minutes, where it shows, I guess, long story short, William Shatner's Captain Kirk having a final moment with Spock on his dying bed. And it's one of those things where it's a very heartfelt tribute. It's a nice final end, final goodbye that we never got for those characters. And before I go on, let me just talk a bit about my thoughts on Star Trek in itself, to better explain. I would say, in all honesty, I'm more of a Star Trek guy than Star Wars guy in terms of the original cast. Deep Space Nine, I haven't seen anything of. Enterprise, haven't seen anything of. Voyager, haven't seen anything of. Maybe one or two episodes. The Next Generation, I saw a few episodes that were requests, and then the movies, but not much else. Haven't seen a whole lot of the new stuff. Picard, I think I saw episode 1 of Strange New Worlds. I didn't see STD, Star Trek Discovery. I mean, STD kind of says it all. Unless people want to request them and lose my mind. But that's up to people out there. But feel free if you want. But when I think of Star Trek, for me, it's that cast. William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, DeForest Kelly, James Doohan. Those characters, Kirk, Spock, McCoy, Sulu, Scotty, Uhura, like those are the ones I grew up with. I saw the 6 movies, and I love the 6 movies. The 5th one has a lot of issues, but I can watch it and enjoy the good parts, despite the bad parts, because there are bad parts. That's a film that you needed, editing and much improved special effects. It would not save everything, but it would definitely improve it. But even with its weaknesses, I can still like it for what it is. But it's definitely the weakness of the 6. But I like that cast. I love Part 4 is my favorite. I love the motion picture. I know people say it's slow and boring. But hey, I like 2001 Space Odyssey. That's what it's trying to go for, and I'm fine with it. It's really the only Star Trek that really is a Star Trek. Like, think about it. A trek through the stars. The motion picture is the only one that did that, if you think about it. Just the fucking title alone, Star Trek. That's what they did in that movie. It's the only time they really did it in a movie. And that's what I love about it. The spectacle, the awe, the music by Jerry Goldsmith. Star Trek 2 is a good one. I like Star Trek 3. I love the human The character moments, I think there's some pretty funny moments in that. There's some heartfelt moments with that. Christopher Lloyd as the villain was great. Yeah, Star Trek 3 I think is a bit underrated, I would say. And Star Trek 4 is my favorite. I love Star Trek 4. Like 5 I can watch. 6 is a great send-off. In fact, that should have been the last time we saw Kirk and Spock. The last time should have been Undiscovered Country. The way it ended, set to start to the right, straight on till morning. You didn't need any more. But Paramount, the company, they wanted, well, we got to start this generation, and we got to do a movie where Kirk and Picard are on screen. I'm like, do we really? I never gave a shit because I'm like, who the fuck is Picard? Because I didn't watch the show, because I didn't care, because it was more, I liked the cast and those characters, and I like that more than Star Trek. Maybe that's the thing. I like that cast. And I know at one point they wanted Leonard Nimoy, and he's like, no, ain't we done with this? So they got Kirk in there. And then I hate Generations. I hate Generations. It's probably my least favorite Star Trek film because of what they did to Captain Kirk. And the plot sucks too, with the Nexus and who Data gets emotions. Yeah, and I want to punch him in the face and turn him into a scrapyard. Data annoyed the piss out of me in that. Yeah, you laugh more time, I'm going to suck your soul out. Okay, with a vacuum cleaner. Then I'm going to shove up your android ass. Fuck Generations. I hate that movie. I hate how Kirk died. It was a bullshit death. I don't know why the hell William Shatner said yes to that. I know he wrote a book called The Return. I did download... I don't know why I said download. I downloaded from YouTube an audio book narrated by William Shatner. I would like to listen to that one day, although, how long is it? Let me look. How long is that? Because I have it saved here. 2 hours and 41 minutes. I guess that's not bad. I mean, just reading through the whole book, but I listened to a little bit of it. It seemed like they had like music in there that's a bit loud, almost drowns out his voice, but it's William Shatner. It's like Kurt's return and deals with the board. It sounds interesting of a story. I don't have the book itself, but yeah, I found the audiobook was on YouTube. I downloaded before it got taken down. It might still, but anyway, going off tangent. And then, like, First Contact I liked, but apparently a lot of people hate Star Trek First Contact. They hate that film because they say it's nothing like Next Generation. Picard's nothing like that. But because I didn't watch the show, so maybe that's why. I liked some of it. I don't like the crap on Earth with Marina Sirtis just drunk and whatever. When it's with the board and it's like aliens, that's what I like. I like the board. I don't mind the Queen. But again, I never watched the show much. A few episodes I've seen that were requests, but even seeing that, it's like, I don't have that mentality. Because I don't have that point of view. I don't have that experience with it. And the stuff I've seen this generation is okay. But I'm an OG guy when it comes to Star Trek. And the stuff I see clips of with this new stuff, it's nothing like Gene Roddenberry. It's more about politics and agendas and Picard, you suck. I'll fucking dare you. Hey Picard, why you just go suck a dick? You know, pure fucking hubris. And you're dead now, Picard, but now you're an android or whatever the fuck they did. I don't know. I think my friend Michael Keane lost his mind watching that shit. I'm not watching it. Well, unless it's a request, then I'll watch it. Paid request. Anyway, I know I'm 9 minutes in, but I wanted to just give a little bit of... I have the original show on the old DVDs. They're not the ones with the remastered versions. I never picked those up. I have the old, like, clamshell that opens up like this. The old DVDs, DVD set. where one's like blue, one's red, one's yellow. I have those old ones. Again, they don't have the remastered ones on there. But I liked that show quite a bit, those 3 seasons. Back to the day we had certain VHS tapes. The Squire of Gothos, I think it was called. Arena. The one, what the hell was it called, where they were in the shuttle and they land on the planet. It's Spock and his team. Not Shorely. It was something else where they land and there's these creatures throwing spears and people get fucking impaled, blood and shit. I'm like, holy shit. I remember liking that one. I can't remember the damn name of it. But the cartoon I liked. It only lasted like 1 season, but I liked the cartoon. But anyway, hated the J.J. Abrams stuff. I hate all 3 of those movies. 2009, Into Fartness, Beyond Blunderdome. I hate all 3 of them. The third one is like more tolerable in like a goofy way, but I don't like any of them, honestly. Like the third one I thought kind of made me the least bad, which I know is stupid for people, but I don't know, just like you try to rip off Wrath of Khan in part 2, and then part 1, like the whole Kelvin timeline, that just annoyed the piss out of me. And Spock is now stuck in this universe, and he's gonna die alone without his friends. What kind of bullshit is this? And fucking lens flares I can't see. I hate that stuff. So this like popped. I don't know how I found it. Someone told me about this. I forget who. I'm like, what is this? So the way it starts off is showing Gary Mitchell, who I think was in the first episode of Star Trek. Well, there was the pilot with the other guy, because it wasn't Captain Kirk, it was another guy, another character. But then it's like, I don't know about this. Then the first one with Kirk in it, I believe that had Gary Mitchell. And by the end, he became like this godlike figure. And then he died, but fans think maybe, he didn't die. He became a bigger entity. So Gary Mitchell's there looking at, I don't know, the Nexus, or looking at a star or something. He's looking at something. So while he's doing that, they show a lot of flashes of stuff. I think it's Spock on the planet where Kirk died. And then I saw another clip. There's another clip where Spock actually picked up Kirk's pin. And, okay, he went back to get his friend's body and he picked up Kirk's pin. And like that was another thing Otoy did, so I did see that one. So you see a little bit of that, and then you see other flashes of stuff that I didn't really recognize. Some screen that had Kurt's body skeleton thing, like a scan of his body, which I didn't understand that. But then it cuts to someone walking through, seems like this Garden of Eden, brushing his fingers, and then we see the back of him, and then we see James T. Kirk. We see William Shatner, de-aged. I actually think they did a really good job. Yes, it's not going to be 100% perfect, but they did a really good job. Now, from what I understand, William Shatner didn't really do anything in this movie. In the short film. Some people say, oh, well, he did this and this, and then the Sam Witwer guy. No, I watched an interview with an actor who was on set the whole time. Every scene with Kirk is Sam Witwer. And he's done a voice, I think he was the voice of Darth Maul in a Star Wars cartoon, or something. Like, he's done voice work and other stuff. I'm not 100% familiar with his work. But he did all the body mannerisms. I guess he had like a mask on, a William Shatner mask. I'm like, what, Michael Myers? No, not but I mean, you know. But he had a William Shatner mask, and he moved like Shatner, but he did all the body shots of Shatner. So I guess Shatner just gave his permission and his name, and that's it. Which he did. He's like 90-some years old. I mean, what do you expect? Now, there's no dialogue, which I can understand, because sometimes when you try to do dialogue with the de-aging, it doesn't quite sync right. But I thought it looked pretty damn good. It looked pretty damn good. Now, I didn't understand at first, was Kirk brought back to life? Or he's still a ghost? Because I see Gary Mitchell, and either A, he took the Shatner Kirk that was in the Nexus, pulled him out and put him here, but then he's a ghost wandering around, and there's Robin Curtis as Savick, which Kirstie Alley played her in Wrath of Khan. She didn't come back, and then Robin Curtis played her in 3 and 4. And then behind him, you see someone that looks like Spock, but it's, I believe, supposed to be Spock's son. Because, remember in Star Trek 3, they did that Pon farr thing. And, the mating ritual. And I didn't know this. Apparently in Star Trek 4, Robin Curtis was supposed to be pregnant with Spock's kid. And they cut that out. Which I guess, I mean, if they did the main thing, that means, something would have happened. And she'd have pregnant, that's why she had to stay behind in Star Trek 4. Because I always did wonder, like, why she stayed behind, but I guess that's why. And then you see Kurt's realization, like, looking at him and going, like, really? Which I thought was pretty well acted. Like, the way they did it, like, really neat. Looked really neat. It really did. And but that's the thing. Like, there is a bunch of other group. I didn't recognize other people in the group. But are they seeing a ghost then? Is that the idea? Is that they are here for, like, I guess they feel that Spock is dying, even though he's in another timeline. And so they're trying to prepare for this ritual. So they knew Kirk was coming? See, I know you're not supposed to care about the story. It's more about the emotional journey, which the emotional journey payoff is great. It's fantastic. It's just I have these questions like, again, is Kirk, if he's a ghost, I don't know, I'm thinking, are these other people ghosts? Is Robin Curtis and Spock's son dead as well? Or no, they just see a ghost? Because is that what happens in Star Trek? People can just see ghosts now? I don't know if that was a common thing in Star Trek that Vulcans see ghosts. Is that Vulcans? Forgive me if I'm not up to my Star Trek knowledge, but do they just see ghosts? I don't know. But if Kirk is back to life... Also, he goes up to this creature, which I had to look him up. He's from Star Trek Discovery. He's a creature that could go from the OG timeline to the Kelvin timeline. So, ghosts need transportation too? Like, ghost is like, I know I'm a ghost, man. Like, if this is like the afterlife, why, like, you still need to be transported to another place? Like, I guess they did it in Beetlejuice, to be fair. Sorry, Beetlejuice rules, I guess. I don't know. That's why I was like... I was a bit confused on certain things. And then I read, like, someone involved stated, like, he's resurrected. But then most people say, oh, he's a ghost. I'm like, well, which is it? Like, this is what I'm confused by, and I doubt anyone will give me an answer who's involved with it. If you somehow involved with it, well, they're not going to see this video, but if you are, I'd love to hear the answer. And then the guy has this thing where Kirk grabs it, and he's kind of teleported and kind of the in between timelines. This definitely was a 2001 Space Odyssey, which I like. He's in this cool looking corridor, and he sees other versions of himself. He sees the version of Kirk from the old show, which looked fantastic. I'm like, holy shit. Now, they didn't talk, but they looked fantastic. Like, the movements, the articulation. And then you have the Kirk from Star Trek 2, Admiral Kirk. And they kind of fade away. I guess you can make up your mind as to what that all meant. Was it... Oh, it's a timeline, so he's kind of seeing like parts of himself throughout time, whatever the case. So he travels through it, and then he enters his room, and he's now in the Kelvin timeline. You see a little box on the table. That's from Star Trek Beyond, where someone looked at and there's a picture of the crew of the OG. He's there with Leonard Nimoy. I believe they hired an actor, and then they put a lot of makeup on him. So they didn't do a whole lot, and that looked pretty good too. It was very sweet. Kind of Spock look at him, and Kirk does the hand like it starts with the motion picture, and then puts his other hand, and he has this kind of look of, smiling. Will always be my friend, that kind of look. I kind of wish that lines, like, I wish William Shatner, they could have had him say that line, at least. Like, have that be the one dialogue you put in. I also would have been nice to somehow have McCoy in there. Somehow, some way they get McCoy, because I always think of it as the trilogy, Kurt, Spock, and McCoy. Since the McCoy, DeForest Kelly's gone as well. But very lovely, good emotional tribute. I do like Spock, kind of look at him. He does the kind of arch of the eyebrow. That kind of made me wonder what that was, like, what he was thinking of. Well, that's interesting. I thought you were dead. I know I was there when I picked up your pen thing. I thought at first it was like he looked at the pen. It's like, wait a minute, I picked that up before. But I don't think that was the case, because it never showed any shots of it, up close shots. I just sort of the situation fascinating, You're dead, but you're here, that kind of thing. But it's a nice look between the two, and they looked at the sun rising, and it goes towards it, and it goes towards them, and it's just a very nice emotional goodbye to these characters. Because Leonard Nimoy's passed away. William Shatner's 90-some years old. He's not going to be doing any more Star Trek stuff. And these characters never really got a good, satisfying goodbye. And that's, I think, why people on the internet are chatting about it, talking about it. Because again, Kirk died in a stupid, shitty way off a fucking bridge. Spot died in a stupid, shitty way, left alone to die on a fucking Kelvin timeline where Vulcan has been destroyed. Hip hip hooray for him. Died alone. And so by this way of doing it, they give them a nice goodbye that a lot of fans appreciate. So yeah, while there's parts of the story I'm a bit confused by, like ghosts, you still need permission to go somewhere, and I guess that's why Gary Mitchell brought his thing out of the Nexus, I guess. Just that was the deal, or I guess Vulcans can see ghosts. Does he, Spock did the? I mean, I don't. Maybe because of what the Gary Mitchell did. Again. Now this is what I've heard. I've heard there's a possibility they want to do something with this, like an episode. I don't know about this specifically, or maybe just this technology. They want to do some kind of episode thing, but there's been no details on that. And also I heard that the only way to find this, the official one, there may be other people that put it up, but it's unlisted on YouTube, which means you need to have the link to see it. And I heard that the reason it's unlisted is Paramount told them to do that. So even though this got, Kevin Feige and all these other guys, in the special things, and Skywalker Sound doing William Shatner, apparently him and the Nimoy family watched it on the bridge of just a mock-up Enterprise, and apparently Shatner really, loved it. Paramount's like, well, we don't want to, you don't want to what? I forget what the deal was, but it's Paramount just being parapricks like usual. Something about monetization? I didn't understand it. You have it up, but then you have it up, but you don't want people to see it, but then why have it up in the first place? But then, I don't know. Some weird ass deal thing. Paramount being parapricks. I know some people would say, well, wait a minute, how come you're for this, but you're against, say, Harold Ramis and Ghostbusters Afterlife? Number one, because I think that film sucks. That's number one. Number two, I do find it much more respectable that, okay, here's someone who they did kill off in Star Trek Beyond, that, okay, he has a goodbye where he sees Kirk one more time. I could see Leonard Nimoy being fine with that, and it doesn't do anything to disservice the character. In Ghostbusters Afterlife, it's, oh yeah, Egon got called an asshole, and he should go rot in hell and die by Dan Aykroyd's character. And then, oh, he was by himself on a farm, and then he got killed, got murdered, got jacked up by some ghosts. And then, that to me was just more disservice and annoying and irritating than this thing. I don't know. This one just felt more heartfelt. And it was done specifically to just be a nice send-off of these characters. A good tribute. 10 minutes or less. Done to help people, give them a bit of a smile, a bit of hope. Which there's not a lot of hope that I see in bits and pieces of Star Trek nowadays. Let's talk about immigration. Let's talk about this and that. How about not? And see we did. But yeah, it was a nice, heartfelt goodbye to beloved characters that treated fans with respect. And we'll give credit where credit's due on that. It was very nice. It was very sweet. With some very cool looking technology used. Didn't mind the music. I wish it was more Star Trek type music, to be fair. I wish it was more like whimsical Star Trek theme being used instead. I think it's the same composer that did the Batman and other stuff, but yeah, I do wish the music was more Star Trek-like, as in, the softer bit of the Star Trek theme, like the Jerry Goldsmith, type of thing. know, I don't know. That's just me. But overall, I liked it. I liked it. I thought it was nice to see. It was a nice surprise because I never even heard of Old Toy or any of this stuff. So it was a nice surprise for it. So quite liked it. I did quite liked it. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And thanks once again to Trevor for the request. And we'll see you guys later. It was, like I say, it was. I don't know. I was ended, but just one final thing. It was just nice to have did a goodbye for these two characters. They're two important characters in science fiction, in pop culture history, with respect. Sometimes fans are not asking too much. Respect the characters. Sometimes it's not that hard to do. Sometimes it's not that hard to do. So with that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later.